Alrighty, well, who's next in this absolute mess? My health is going down. No.
A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
Okay. The accused. Peter Stamatin, designer of the polyhedron. Accused of assault on reality by way of impossible artifact creation, which puts the population at risk through its sheer impossibility. Is that a crime? What? What is an assault on reality? Is it defined by law?
Just find the right lines.
Remember,
Connect all the dots.
really hard to voice
And you'll
these.
see the answer.
Very hard to voice these characters. Also, those fucking pauses that kept baiting me into thinking I could talk. It's very hard to voice these characters distinctly when they all just have similar, like, super deep voices. Oh, God damn it. Since this is a trial, I propose we narrow down who assaulted whom. Did I take a gulp of reality? Or did it swallow me? I'd say it goes both ways. Look at him, Dankovsky. Couldn't even come sober to his own trial. Didn't you round everybody up? I didn't know about the trial. They snatched me right out of bed this morning. At least they gave me time to dress, or I'd be standing before you in my small clothes. Enough small talk. Let us return to the matter at hand. I gave you the floor, Inquisitor. So Karminsky is just like the detective, or the inspector, where they're just so distinctly unfair all the time to everyone. Like, didn't even come sober to his own thing. It's like, what? You arrested everybody. This isn't an appointment. You weren't even here yesterday to make an appointment. I believe Peter should preserve the blueprints. I believe Peter should present the blueprints for the polyhedron to the Inquisition. Then we'll be able to determine how dangerous the structure is. Ah, funny. Your life is on the line, Stamatin. What exactly do you find funny? There are no blueprints. I burned them 4 days ago. Nothing but ashes by now. Oh, we saw him doing that. Where were they? Where were you keeping them? Peter? Who cares? They're not there anymore. It's at the end of the really long chase where I had to go find him and like 7 steps deep into that quest. So like if I gain the knowledge now, then can I go back and stop him from burning the blueprints? So what do you expect us to do now? Can you at least explain in your own words how the polyhedron stays upright? How does it work? If you need that explained, there's no point in even trying to make you understand. You wanted to accuse me, so you did. You want me in prison? Prison it is. The noose? Even better. Can we get this over with? You're giving me a headache. What if I bring you the blueprints? Do you think he's lying about burning them? You're making me laugh myself to tears. I have an idea where there might be. I don't think you quite understand what it means to be an Inquisitor, Dankovsky. Your job is to lay down sentences, not sniff out evidence. Well, then who's looking for evidence then? Evidence is an important part of the justice system. I doubt you'll pass up the opportunity to see the blueprints for a masterpiece like this one. I'll find them. In exchange, you give Peter a chance. That's interesting. Straight up calls it out too, like I gotta go get them. When was that? The really long one, right? Was it day 4 that had the really long string of events? That's living tissue. That's grief. Was it day 5? Oh God, when was it? Is it this really long sequence? Yes. On day 3, that long sequence. So like if I get there before him, can I steal them before he burns them? I don't think I had the option to go in his house at the time. Maybe now, with the additional context of what I'm trying to work towards, they'll let me try that. The polyhedron's blueprints have been burned beyond recovery. That had an unsatisfying conclusion that did feel like it was signposting the idea that there was something more to it. So it stuck in my mind as like, there's got to be a way to do this quest differently. But it felt like I needed to be prompted to later, which I guess has happened now. What's funny is if I remember correctly, in Pathologic 1, the polyhedron was made of its own blueprints. Or at least that's how Daniil saw it. Dankovsky, because I think different people saw the polyhedron differently. Like children thought it was made of glass or something, and Daniil saw it as being made of its own blueprints, essentially, which is an insane contradictory sounding thing. But yeah, like it's like it was conjured into thought, so it's made of that concept, its own construction, and maybe a similar metaphor is built into how it was presented for each person. I don't know if that still applies now. You two. Oh, I have so much mania, I can't talk. Oh, it's like, wow, it's a Vlad-specific problem, too. What if I just came in here with 0 drugs? Like, what would I even do? So I was arrested to be here. I would just have to wait for my mania to go down and hope I didn't die of a heart attack in the process.
Anterior costal margin, discal cells, and of course, the wing root.
Vlad Olgimsky and his son. Vlad Olgimsky. Is it both of them in the same conversation again, like what happened before? That's interesting that I'm too manic to talk to Boss Vlad, but I can talk to Vlad Jr., even though it's the same conversation, apparently. Monopolist cattle magnates. The Inquisition has reason to suspect that the epidemic has started in the so-called termitary, a dormitory for factory workers they own.
Oh. What have I done to be punished with children like these?
This is ludicrous. That's why I closed the termitary in the first place. I quarantined it, you see. I've saved the town, and now I'm to blame? According to our information, locking the termitary has led to everyone inside dying en masse. What do you say, Inquisitor? The accused claims he did that to save the town. Does this look like salvation to you? It didn't work, no, but from what I know from other games, they're also not. They're probably dying en masse, but not all dead. I don't know why I'm yawning so much at 1 p.m. I'm annoyed about it. It looks more like covering tracks. I'll add that on my 3rd day in the town, Olgimsky Sr. was strongly resisting an inspection of the termitary. Come on, Bachelor. Weren't ourselves we were caring about. We did it for the people, so no one got infected. You'd come in with your inspection, you'd never come out, either. You'd get torn apart, and we needed you as the head of the emergency command. You've created an immense petri dish, which the plague used to grow in strength before bursting out into the town.
Behind any pretty facade, there's a yawning black pit. Always.
It was my fault. Silence, you fool. Don't listen to him. He's nervous, young, talking nonsense. It was no one's fault. Something like that can't be no one's fault. Hundreds of people have died in your termitary. You've sentenced them to death. People, you call them. Have you seen them, these people, those kin? We did the right thing. I did the right thing when I locked the termitary. Father. Silence, I said. Shut your mouth. Don't talk yourself into a noose. What do you think, Inquisitor? Not guilty. There was no other solution in the first days. A mass isolation of the infected in the dormitory has given the town some time. Please let my father go. He didn't do anything. Hush, you. I'll talk with you yet. I've your mind, you. You're so diligent in shutting up your son. If I didn't know you, I'd think you were trying to take the blame for his actions. There's nothing to blame anyone for, physician. You're the one who decided to make me take the fall. I did what was necessary. I demand respect. Is he out of breath? There's so many pauses in his lines, yeah. What happens now? You, the both of you, definitely have something to do with the spread of the epidemic, but it's not over yet, which means the Inquisition cannot yet properly assess the damage done, or the gain, as your father keeps insisting. I admit I expected you to make snap decisions. I'm glad to be mistaken. You're surprised? That means you haven't taken to your role well enough. Your verdict will be taken into account in the future. Right now, though, the Olgimskys are dismissed. And this is what you call a trial. Inquisition my foot. Ludicrous. Father, Not here, I told you. Keep your mouth shut. I think this is an act of provocation. He's letting you go to see what you will do. Hello, Utopians. The Canes aren't represented at the interrogation. Did they wriggle out? So I was right to question that, yeah. Judge your own case. I can't help the town's leaders. Their guilt is too obvious to me. But whom can I help? I did the Inquisitor's work. Time to report.
Accused of the most terrible of crimes, Gnostical turpitude. So rare and so unutterable that it was necessary to use circumlocutions like impenetrability, opacity, occlusion.
Gnostical turpitude? What the fuck are you talking about? Thank you for your cooperation with the Inquisition, Dankovsky. So, Is this line of duty to your liking? You're doing this on purpose, so the whole town knows about my cooperation with the Inquisition. You're making it sound like some grand revelation, but I wasn't hiding anything. Of course I'm doing this on purpose, but I've given you a chance to influence the fates of the accused. Wasn't it worth it? Don't answer that, such arguments are boring. Rather, tell me, are you doing any campaigning for the populace, raising their awareness? The provincial crowd doesn't know much about the latest discoveries in the field of hygiene, and it's not their fault. We're doing everything possible. If there are any measures that haven't been taken, that means that there were reasons. There's another thing. I've looked at the documentation of your emergency command. The town is short on medicine, and we can't expect any new supplies during the quarantine. But the solution is obvious. Confiscate what the townspeople have stockpiled for a rainy day. You need to be bolder, Dankovsky. You hold the power. You want to play switching roles some more? Decide to take my place now? I've given you a hint, that's all. It's up to you whether you want to use it. It's just my job to stick my nose in other people's affairs. Though I admit your affairs are of less interest to me than what the Kanes grace with their patronage. I'm curious to be in a town that has so many assaults on reality in one place. What do you mean by that, after all? What is an assault on reality? I don't have time for lengthy discussions. We just did a whole trial. Let's try to be brief. There are laws, and then there is the law. That which defines the shape of reality. The sum of facts it consists of, as well as the potential opportunities for its development. Are you still with me? More or less. By virtue of having free will, people sometimes make attempts to break the law. In most cases, futile. But on some rare occasions, they achieve a certain degree of success. At the seams, the tears in the history's fabric. That success is unstable. Reality is always trying to push that out of itself. You could say reality has an immune response. You're contradicting yourself. If the law defines reality, then how can it be broken at all? You're asking the right questions, Dankovsky. It's impossible to break the law. That's why its breaches are called impossible deeds. If they take material form, they're called impossible objects. It would be easier if you could name some examples. I can't help but think that since science is a work in progress, any impossibilities that broke the laws of science are just signs that you don't actually know yet what all the rules are, and that your laws are incomplete. To avoid disclosing the secrets of the Inquisition that you are, after all, not a part of, I'll just name the most well-known ones that you might have heard about. An example of an impossible deed is the free circus performance of the Double Star Man. Flight, without any kind of contraptions involved. His name was Drood, and he was thrown in prison. Must have been by your agents. Don't get all worked up. And the most famous impossible object has been discovered under a flight of stairs in a residential house. An infinitesimal point that contained the whole world. A foolish owner of the house wrote some poetic saga in extremely bad taste after looking into it. Sounds like House of Leaves. I'd thought it was just a story. A metaphor. Your bewilderment is understandable. Even in the Inquisition, not many are capable of working with impossible objects. The mind refuses to encompass them, though I personally consider them the most interesting kind of work. Is it bad to strive for the impossible? That's how breakthroughs are made, groundbreaking discoveries. You should understand that impossible objects are always a menace to reality, and reality is a menace to them. This contradiction demands a resolution. That's why they need to be studied and disarmed. I hope your curiosity has been sated, at least for today. I need to get back to my job. I have a job of my own, now that you've chosen not to execute me anyway. Hygiene awareness campaign. Try to tell people not to die of germitis. Medical requisition, steal shit from people. Yeah, that'll go well. I struggle more with the state of morale than I do with the freaking disease itself. So now what the hell are we gonna do today? Let's see. Grief's already here. They say Grief is lying low, but where else to start the search if not at his lair? Who's they? I must urgently flee the town. Without me, Thanatica will be destroyed to its foundations. Oh. We're returning to that idea. Okay. Yes, Thanatica is being killed, but I can't just flee. I must try to help the town. Tonight the Inquisitor will show his justice. So tonight he's going to kill anyone that... Or we'll see what he does. But he'll probably go after Stamatin until I deal with that. But I can't really deal with that without going back in time. And I think I'm going to focus on stuff I can do today first. The good news is that the trial pauses time. Although time is not especially important when you loop. Oh, Maria Kaina's here. Unless I mixed up names again.
Where do our dead go?
An Daniil. My father is in the Crucible. He's in a bad way. You have to examine him as soon as possible, I implore you. Did the sand past get to him too? How long has it been? What are the symptoms? No, he's not ill. It's much, much worse. Early in the morning, the Inquisitor came to us. He's pressed charges against my father and carried out the sentence right there on the spot. What kind of charges? He said something about impossible objects and that father is being accused of instigating the creation of such objects. Please, we have little time, and you have to help him. His condition is very bad. Alright, but tell me at least what exactly it is that the Inquisitor did to him. The Inquisitor touched his forehead and said something quietly. And since then, Father's just been sitting down, looking straight ahead. It's been several hours. I've never seen him like this. He has this glassy stare, totally blank. It's like he's turned into an impossible object himself. Which objects did he mean exactly? The polyhedron has been here for a long time. I think it was ordered by Simon, not Victor. The Inquisitor mentioned Yulia Lyrosheva. He said Lyrosheva did something commissioned by Father, and that it was an assault on reality. It's all her fault. Because of Yulia? What is her guilt? Exactly. Why are you so sure of it? A few days ago, Father said he no longer needed her services and asked her to leave the town. She got mad and decided to have her revenge. She visited the Inquisitor and framed him. Framed my father. I wouldn't jump to conclusions if I were you. This is not really like Yulia. She's holding a grudge against Victor, that much is true, but giving him away to the Inquisitor? I don't think so. You say that, Dankovsky, because you haven't seen Dad yet. You haven't seen what the Inquisitor has done to him. That doesn't mean that seeing what he's done to him doesn't tie it to Yulia necessarily. Alright, I'll go to the Crucible and examine Victor at once. First whip. Strife. Hello. Gotta remember to check you every loop. Uh-oh. Gallows? The nails. What are you doing? Building a ladder. What's it look like? That looks like a gallows, to be honest. Well, it is. A gallows is just a ladder to the sky, don't you know? As the Inquisitors say, you can't use it to climb down, only up, and right out of your body. That's some grim sense of humor you have. Comes with the territory. If I were a baker, I'd be making jokes about cremation. I'd rather be a baker than this. At least bread does some good. And what's that supposed to mean? Are you saying that building a gallows is easy? A little tap-tap with a hammer and it just assembles itself from the boards, does it? So, in your opinion, I'm just messing around here. Is that how it seems to you? That's not what I said. I said your job shouldn't exist. Because it doesn't do a function that's good. The gallows is bad, not your construction of it. It's people like you who uphold these inhumane practices. If everyone refused to build gallows, how would the Inquisitors hang anyone? But you said yes. You enjoy hammering away out of your love for wood and engineering. My job is to make sure the person in the noose suffers as little as possible. If gallows were just slapped together willy-nilly, you'd get a repeat of the Paper Brotherhood situation. It took them 3 tries to hang those men. Now that is true butchery. I heard that the person who invented the guillotine was executed by his own device. Just wants to get in a clever comment at the end, regardless of context. We're gonna want to work on our matches supply to get this whole thing started. Oh wow, I'm already up to 9 heals. They do tend to hide in that second inventory. Another place to remember. This is the equivalent of having my favorite garbage can. It's being like, here's my handful of places I can consistently go to nab what I want. Let's see. Also, ow.
More blunt. Not so sharp.
I believe Victor was over here. Next to Simon's office. I wonder if it's supposed to resemble like his strings got cut. Since many of us seem to be dolls. Many of us, all of us. In this game. Still don't know what the rule for this opening was. It just opened when I happened to walk in. So I think it's based on timing. But I don't know what the timing was. Oh. Tragedy is behind him.
Chain a rock to your ankle if you wish to see the bottom.
I will say no more. No more. Maria's worried about you. She says the Inquisitor did something to you. I will say no more. Do you remember who I am? What's my name, Victor? I will say no more. No more. Can you say anything other than that phrase? I will say no more. No more. Quoth the raven nevermore. No more. So, that's what Maria was talking about. Pupils dilated, don't respond to light, gaze fixed. Look at me, Victor. I will say no more. Damn. Fair. I can't talk to the shade. Oh, can I? Okay, weird. Weird finicky hitbox. He won't tell you anything. I'm the one you should talk to. Where'd you come from? I thought a shadow only appeared when someone had died. Which hasn't come up that much, actually. That is correct. But isn't Victor alive? Or are you not his shadow? The answer to that question is a matter of perspective. What makes a person alive? Is it their biological processes? Or their mental ones? The heart? Or the brain? Someone can be dead, even with a beating heart. And physical life is, alas, perfectly compatible with metaphysical death. What exactly did Karminski do to him? Inquisitor Karminski carried out his sentence. Whosoever stands accused of assaulting reality must be banished from it. Derealized. That is the law. How specifically did Victor assault reality? What could he have possibly have done to deserve such cruel punishment? It was all because of a street in the atrium. Victor had entrusted Yulia Lirasheva with one of the town's key projects, a street that created realities, a street where a person could see every possible permutation of their fate. But something went wrong. The street wasn't working as intended. Instead of conjuring up possibilities as it should have, it drove people to a nightmarish state of insanity. Is the other outcome not also an assault on reality? Aren't both? These are both things that shouldn't be able to happen. Nightmarish how? What did they see? The street was working backwards, for lack of a better word. At first it appeared the street was broken and walking it yielded no results. And then Victor found out there had been cases of people going insane after visiting the atrium. Those affected included a postman, a milkman, a beggar, and another man who was prone to obsessions. It took Victor a while to realize what they had in common. Would you guess what it was? Let's see. People going insane. A postman, a milkman, a beggar. One prone to obsessions. None of them walk in a straight line. They all went door to door. They each arrived at exact predetermined times. They all had their own daily rituals. Why would a beggar arrive at predetermined times? People with obsessions go door to door? None of them walk in a straight line. Yes, Victor realized the street revealed itself to people who walked in a specific fashion, moving from one porch to the next. He discovered by experiment that you had to start from the cathedral square, stand on the first porch on your left, then follow the sound from there. Start in Cathedral Square, stand on the first porch on your left, and follow the sound from there. I don't see the point in creating such absurd and dangerous streets in the first place. Victor was hoping the impossible street would become a wonderful source of new knowledge about the world and inner workings of reality. It all went to the dogs. He saw that the street wasn't working as intended. He saw that Yulia Yurisheva had made a horrific mistake that doomed the entire town. That's not the answer to my question. You said the street drove people to insanity. What did you mean? I've told you all you need to know, Doctor. I know what's on your mind. You're about to decide to test the street for yourself and find out if it's true. I won't be able to stop you. Just know that you absolutely should not do that. You're making a mistake. So Victor walked the street and saw what? Karminsky destroying his mind in the future? Yes, but there was more. He also saw the town, his town, perish because of the plague. And every day since, Victor watched all the things he'd seen in the street become reality. And he didn't try to do anything about it, didn't take any measures. Why the silence, Shadow? You're making it sound like it was the street and Victor walking it that brought the plague upon the town. Oh, he's looking straight at me. That's actually kind of story breaking if he's doing that. He's supposed to be staring into space, isn't he? Also, ow, my body. Need red thing to touch, please. Good. 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 Boop.
Enough.
Well, that's alarming. Victor is the only one whose case Karminsky didn't ask me to investigate. Is that really serious? I need the other one. I need more red. I kind of want to ask Karminsky about Victor and see if he has anything to say about it. That seems like he should. I'm a little worried because there's part of me that wants to do every quest just by default, unless they really obviously seem like a bad idea. Like, it might be a really bad idea to do the grief quest because it involves trying to escape again. But in this case, I'm like, is it possible that this is such a diabolical bit of magic that playing with it might be the equivalent of doing the deal in Pathologic 2, where you permanently ruin your playthrough?
And not a death in sight.
What is it, Dankovsky? Did you forget something here? You held a trial of the town's ruling families at the cathedral today. When you came to Victor Kane in person, why? If you've been to the Crucible, you must already know what I did and why. Victor Kane had been found guilty of assault on reality. The Inquisition believes his actions pose a serious threat to the state. What specific actions? What did he do that was so bad? He commissioned an impossible object, and quite a dangerous one at that. I thought it was creating an impossible object, not commissioning one that was punishable. Punishment is on a case-by-case basis. The degree of guilt is established according to the degree of reality subversion attempted. Victor Kane's commission makes him the mastermind of the attempt, which, if anything, is an aggravating factor in our circumstances. Sometimes I get the feeling that the Inquisition regards breathing air as an aggravating factor. Congratulations, you're beginning to get the gist of how the law operates. Not that Victor was punished for breathing, of course. His crime was commissioning the creation of an impossible object in the atrium, a street that multiplies realities. While the street exceeded all of its creators' expectations, it has an unpleasant flaw. Rather than multiplying realities, it collapses them down to a single scenario, the most horrifying possible future. The Inquisition believes that an object like this poses a threat to the state. Are you going to do the same to Yulia? We'll decide that later. So far, we're still at the evidence-gathering stage. Have you tried walking the street yourself yet? Have you? Do I look like a fool? I think I'll politely refrain from comment here. If you value your own future, stay away from the street and the atrium. I'm trapped in a town that's dying of plague. That street can hardly make my future any worse. Of course it can, though, because we're obviously trying to pick all the best possible outcomes to hack our future. It does genuinely sound like interacting with the street can ruin my playthrough by locking me into a bad outcome. Which, like, they've done stuff like that before with the deal, so maybe. It sounds like this is a quest that I should not do. Which is heartbreaking because I want to do everything all the time. And it also sounds like a fun little ritual to be like, oh, go to this, specifically the atrium, starting at Bridge Square. And then go on to the left, the first balcony on your left, and do a little funny little ritual along the way. But, intriguing. I'll see for myself how the street works. I don't know about that, man. I must at least glance at this incredible urban invention. I can glance at it, but I need to avoid stepping on the balcony and seeing what happens there. Also, is there any red out here? I forget. My bot is struggling. Mostly remember things being blue out here, though. There are some supplies out here. Have some tobacco real quick. The tobacco also didn't do shit. Wow, a lot of the items in my inventory are getting a lot weaker from the addiction feature. Damn. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. Because in the last game, your meters got shorter and shorter the more you died. All of your survival meters. And there was a character who offered to fix it for you.
Keep quiet in the library.
But the guy who would fix it for you, he would completely and permanently remove these debuffs from your character. But you also got locked into like a false ending and you couldn't beat the game essentially. I don't remember exactly what form it was supposed to take. I didn't do it. I think I remember looking into it at some point, and it's like either it locks you into the worst ending or it stops you from finishing the game like right before the end or something, which is a dick move, as they say. I'm currently here, so I'm like, should I talk to Georgie to see if he wants to? I talk to him almost every day. Nope, no dialogue today. Ooh, ooh! Look how I rob them blind with my giant grabby hands. I'm tempted to go to the train tracks too and just see if I can loot that entire maze again, as I keep doing. That just seems like an incredibly powerful thing to exploit over and over again.